I finally got it. Oh, I'm somewhere else. I'm on mood, and it took me 30 minutes to get this set up. I'm so sorry. But I am up now. Welcome to the King's Corner. Hopefully, we'll have people jump in here in a minute. We're going to talk. Hey, hopefully, we'll have some people jump on here in just a minute. I hope y'all can hear me well. Again, I am not at the King's Corner. I'm on the road, but I'm sorry for being late. Man, there is so much that is happening right now with Bethesda. What a crazy couple of days we had. And again, sorry guys that are jumping on. Sorry it took me so long to get on. I'm on the road. I'm not at the King's Corner. I'm actually taking care of my mother. So it took me a little bit longer to get the live stream set up, but I'm here now. So what's going on with Bethesda? The main thing I want to talk to you guys about is, of course, Fallout 76. What is this game? Is it a normal Fallout, or is it something else? And are we still going to get Starfield? What do you think? Those are the two main subjects I want to talk about. Now, I do want you to remember that Pete Hines said that this was going to be the biggest showcase ever. Now, he wouldn't say that unless he was very, very confident that it was going to be a huge showcase. And I don't think this Fallout is the last reveal from Bethesda Game Studios. Also, remember that Bethesda Game Studios now has 3 studios. They have the Maryland studio, the Montreal studio, and they added the Austin studio. Now, that's the biggie that we're going to talk about a lot tonight, the Austin studio. What is that studio? If you'll remember, I've been telling y'all from the very beginning, you can go back all the way to my first speculation video, that I thought the Austin studio is either going to be putting a multiplayer mode on a BGS game like Starfield, or they are making their own multiplayer game. Well, looky what we got revealed today. We had Fallout 76 revealed to us today. Now, everybody's screaming, this looks like a multiplayer game. It's going to be some kind of multiplayer game. This came out of Austin, guys. Austin is the one that has been working on this. In fact, most of the systems that are going into this Fallout 76 was in the original Battle Cry game. Do you remember anything about that? If not, let me get you caught up to date. And I know we're going to have a lot of people jumping on here in just a minute. Battle Cry was a game going all the way back to 2015 that Battle Cry Studio in Austin was working on. They were finished with the game, or almost finished with the game, but yet Bethesda was not comfortable with publishing the game. So they put a stop to it. And then you didn't hear anything from Battle Cry Studio. Well, what happened is Bethesda Game Studios took the Austin studio into them. They absorbed them, but they continued to let them work on this game, but instead they rebranded it to a Fallout game. Because, number one, of course, a Fallout game is going to sell a lot better than a Battle Cry game that nobody's ever heard of. And number two, BGS could give them more assets to make it a better game. So I'm sure it's a much better game than it was in 2015. So with this Fallout 76, I hate to tell y'all, but I believe it is a reskinned online Battle Cry game. And it's what I've been. Now, I'm not going to dare say that I predicted a Fallout game, okay? But I have been saying that the Austin studio is working on something. So I believe the Fallout 76 is this reskinned Battle Cry online game, but it's not the main game that's going to be released. I still think Starfield is going to be released, but I want to hear from y'all. Everybody else that I'm listening to today has forgotten about Starfield, and they're talking about this Fallout game. I know when you hear the word Fallout, you get excited. Everybody gets, that's one of our favorites. So we get excited and we forget about everything else. But I really believe this Fallout game is a minor game compared to what's going to be announced at E3. Now, this is all my speculation, okay? I don't have any inside sources on this. I hear a few things here and there, but most people have just stopped talking about Starfield all of a sudden. Well, it didn't go away. It's still a real game. So what is it? Is it going to be announced this year at E3? Is it just a code name? Some people think, well, maybe it's a code name for this Fallout, but that's not the case. Again, I believe the Fallout 76 is a multiplayer game. It is a reskinned game from Battlecry. So y'all start telling me what you think. I know we got people jumping on and jumping off, so I'm probably going to have to say the same things a few times until we get everybody on board here. And I don't have anybody to read my screen, so y'all bear with me when y'all start chatting with me. What do you think this Fallout 76 is? Again, I'm gonna again tell you what I believe this game is. Preston Garvey agrees. This multiplayer Fallout game is not going to be. It's not the main BGS game that we thought we were getting. Okay, I believe we're still getting another game. So y'all calm down. There's a lot of people that are really up in arms when they figured out this is a multiplayer game, and I was screaming it was a multiplayer game yesterday and all along. I just didn't know it was a Fallout game. I knew we had some kind of multiplayer online game coming because of the studio in Austin. Again, the studio in Austin has been working with Bethesda Game Studios long before they announced it this past year. They have been working with them since 2015. Again, just to reiterate, since we got a couple of people more jumping on, Battlecry Studio, which has become Bethesda Game Studios in Austin, they had the game Battlecry in 2015. They had it ready. And in fact, they were showing it off at E3 in 2015. You can go see they were on the floor at E3 in 2015. But Bethesda didn't think it was a good enough game yet to publish. So they pulled it back and said, no, we're not going to do it right now. Well, this is what happened. Instead of allowing them to continue to work on Battlecry, they made them a part of Bethesda Game Studios. Bethesda Game Studios helped them a little bit, but they turned that multiplayer Battlecry game into a Fallout game. The Fallout game, Fallout 76, is, in my opinion, that Battlecry game. I hadn't heard anybody else say that. You're hearing it here first, but it's absolutely true. The Fallout 76 game is that rebranded Battlecry game. So that it scares me a little bit, but again, that's not the main game I'm looking for. I'm ready for Starfield. Starfield is still coming. I still believe it's going to be announced at this E3, but if not, if for some reason it's not, it will be next year. Normally, Bethesda Game Studios works on a 3 to 4 year time cycle. It's been 3 years since Fallout 4. So it's either this year or next year. With Pete Hines saying this is going to be one of the biggest E3s ever, he says this may in fact be the biggest E3 ever. I think it is this year that we're going to get Starfield as well, which is kind of interesting. Think about it. I believe they're just getting this little Fallout game out of the way first, and the main part of their showcase is still going to be Starfield. But tell me what y'all think. I know what I'm saying here on this tonight, and this is the reason I wanted to do a live discussion with y'all. I don't hear anybody else talking about this. I hear everybody else panicking about this Fallout because it is a multiplayer, but I don't hear anybody else talking about the Battlecry aspects. I've heard nobody say anything about Starfield since this Fallout dropped, since this Please Stand By came up yesterday. I haven't heard the name Starfield mentioned other than me in my videos. Now, there may be some out there, but I've done quite a bit of research, and I hadn't heard anybody talking about Starfield anymore. Well, Starfield didn't go away. The Starfield trademark didn't go away. It's still there. And this Fallout 76 is not the Starfield, because you can go to the Starfield trademarks and notice there is all kinds of merchandise. There is a mobile game tie-in. None of that is talked about with this Fallout. In fact, the Fallout merchandise is already in the store for this Fallout game. If you remember in a video I did yesterday, hey, good to have you, man. In a video I did yesterday, You can go to the Bethesda store today and you can see the Wasteland Warfare, I believe, merchandise that's in the store. That's a part of this game. Again, it's this battle cry, battle royale type multiplayer game. Hey, good to have y'all. We got a lot of people jumping on here. Thank y'all so much for stopping by. I'm sorry it took me so long to get on. As I was telling the other guys, I am not at the King's Corner today. As you can see, I'm actually taking care of my mother. She's not doing very well, so I've come to stay with her a little bit. So it took me a little longer to get on, but I thought this was important enough. I wanted to talk to y'all, and I want to hear your reaction. I'm not hearing anybody else saying what I'm saying tonight, and I want to know if y'all think I'm out in left field. To sum up very quickly, and then y'all start commenting. Tell me what you think. This Fallout 76, I believe, is or was the Battle Cry game from 2015 that never got published. Y'all are going to have to forgive me. I'm going to have to kind of slow down to read. I'm going to have to get a bigger chat thing for older people. Liberty Prime is talking about here on BGS's Twitter cover photo. The half advertising Fallout 76 at E3 has a Starfield behind it. Absolutely. I think Starfield's still coming. What I was saying for those that have just jumped on, and forgive me for those that have been here, but let me say it quickly again. This Fallout 76, in my opinion, what it is coming from the Austin studio. The Austin studio is the newest studio that joined BGS. They are a multiplayer studio. They are built around multiplayer freemium type games. They were working on a multiplayer MMO type battle cry. You can look up the game Battle Cry. In fact, they were showing it off at the 2015 E3, but Bethesda didn't think it was good enough to publish, so they reeled them back in. Well, everybody thought that they were still working on that or doing something else, but what Bethesda did, instead of publishing Battle Cry, they made them convert Battle Cry into a Fallout game, because Fallout's going to sell a lot better than a new IP from a relatively unknown studio. So this Fallout 76 is a multiplayer game. Now, I don't know how much single player that BGS put in it. I hope that the BGS Maryland and BGS Montreal helped Austin with this. So I hope there's a single player aspect to the game. I'm still very hopeful. So don't just totally panic. But the main mechanics around it are a multiplayer game. And the merchandise is already in the store. That's the Wasteland Warfare merchandise. But with all that said, that is not the main reveal that Bethesda Game Studios has. They are still sitting on Starfield. Starfield is a real thing. It is a true single-person RPG game, just like Skyrim, just like Fallout 4, the games that we love so much. So don't worry, Liberty Prime. You're not going to be forced to. You can leave the Fallout 76 alone, and we can play Starfield, because I feel the same way. Now, I'll try it. It's just like Elder Scrolls Online. I play it a little bit, but it's not my cup of tea. I'll play it for an hour here or there, and then I'll go right back to Fallout 4 and Skyrim, and I even like games like Prey and Wolfenstein and all those better than multiplayer. I'm just not a multiplayer guy. I just don't care for it. But again, I hope this Fallout 76 has some single player or even co-op. I would love, now a co-op would be awesome, to be able to sit and play Fallout with somebody beside you going through the waste. That would be incredible. Now, I would jump all over that. Every comment on every video is saying that I hope good old Bethesda is watching closely. Yes. Bethesda, sadly, is kind of chasing some trends. The trend, of course, is Fortnite and these kind of things. And they're chasing that. And I hate to see Bethesda chasing all these fads like Creation Club. That's exactly where Creation Club came from, because of the loot boxes and all that. But now you see what EA is suffering because of the loot boxes. So Bethesda needs to stay with the stuff that made them famous and the stuff that we love them for. The Far Cry co-op. I would love that. Now, that is one thing I would love, but there's going to be more than co-op. Now within that trailer, there was a lot of co-op hinted. If you watched Just Dom's video, he was on the chat the last time we were here yesterday. He did a wonderful video today and brought out some things that I didn't even see. And go back and watch the trailer and notice all the things that have two in it. It starts with the two tubes in the Pip-Boy, the tubes like tubes inside of a tube amp that are glowing. There is a co-op on top of the multiplayer. Now, there's also a board game sitting on the table that says 5 players. So again, I think this is going to be a very much multiplayer game. Y'all forgive me as I'm going to read, okay? And I know I wish I could read it from a distance, but let's see. And if I miss one of your comments, just say it again, okay? Yes, Preston. Preston just made a good point that I believe all 3 of these studios are working on something. I know they're working together, but they have a project separate. Montreal is working on the Starfield mobile game. Maryland is working on the Starfield game, and Austin is working on this Fallout 76. That's a great point, Preston. Let's see. I checked Bethesda store right now and saw Vault 76 stuff. I don't think it's going to be Battle Royale. Oh, that would be great. $60. It can't compete with Fortnite, which is free. That's true, but I believe it is going to have single player and it is going to have hopefully co-op on top of it. And you got to remember, and this is why they did this, the Fallout name will sell. You think about some of the things that they're selling. They're selling chess sets that are Fallout. They're selling an operation game that's Fallout. You put the Fallout name on it and it's going to sell. It's kind of like the meme with the little rascal throwing the money out the window. And that's exactly what Bethesda did. They were smart. They took this game battle cry that wasn't going to sell anything, that wasn't getting much interest, and said, hey, I think you've got a good idea. Let's help you with it a little bit, and we'll put the Fallout name on it. And it's going to sell. Oh, a Switch Fallout. That's good. Yeah, and you were the one telling me, Cartridge Corner, that the Fallout 4 may not be on the Switch because of the settlement mode, that may be too much for the Switch, but I guarantee you they're trying to do that. And remember the leak that said Fallout 3 was coming on the Switch. I hope that's true. I hope there's going to be an anniversary edition of Fallout 3. That would be great because I think Fallout 3 would be perfect on the Switch. Co-op campaign is fine. Yep. I agree. I don't want no online either. Co-op would be amazing, though. Borderlands, yep. 11 days to E3 seems like an eternity. It does. And if you think we're going to get more and more news, and y'all, this is my piece of advice. Do like this when you start hearing the leaks, because 99% of these leaks, they have no idea what they're talking about. Just trust me on that. Some of them are true, but trying to wade through the ones that are true and the ones that are not true. So just kind of do like this to the leaks. I'm like you, though. I try to listen to every little bit of information and try to get whatever truth is out there. And it's exciting to think about the possibilities. But you're right. In 2 weeks, we're going to know exactly what all of this is. And those new ones that are jumping on, tell me, guys, do y'all think Starfield's still coming? Why am I the only one that's talking about it today? Have y'all heard anybody else talking about Starfield? It's like they announced this Fallout and Starfield just went away. Yep, the Pokemon going co-op. Hey, co-op would be amazing, and I am so glad Dom brought that out on his video, because I just see multiplayer, and he started pointing out all the things that are in pairs in that trailer, and that's exciting. That's exciting to me. And see, that's what I do have faith in Bethesda Game Studios. I don't mean to try to be running them down. I think they saw the trend of today. They saw this battle cry game, and they saw a basic setup there with the multiplayer that they could add something to and really make it a good game and make it sell. Because let's be honest, there is a lot of demand for multiplayer stuff today. Elder Scrolls Online has sold wonderfully for ZeniMax and Bethesda, even though I don't care for it. I bought, let's see, how many have we bought? Cartridge, 3 or 4 ESOs. I bought it for computer. I bought it twice for the Xbox, and I don't even like the game, but I keep trying to like it. I do it to try to, review it and play it just for fun, but I don't ever get 4 of them. We bought 4 ESOs. That's crazy. We don't even like the game. We bought 4 of them. Do we all think Starfield will be announced at E3? Todd, yes, that's what I was saying. Nobody else is talking about Starfield. Everybody else has forgot about Starfield. I haven't forgot about Starfield, and I don't think Bethesda's forgot about Starfield either. Because remember, Pete Hines said this is going to be the biggest E3 ever. And I don't want to totally repeat myself, but I'm going to just sum up because, again, we're getting more and more people in here. This Fallout 76, in my opinion, is not the main game for BGS. Starfield is still coming. This Fallout game is the game that the studio in Austin was working on. They are a multiplayer studio. They have been brought into the BGS family. BGS helped them convert the Battle Cry game that they had in 2015 that they never put out. It was a finished game, but Bethesda didn't think it was good enough either to sell or it wasn't a finished enough product. And they readapted that Battle Cry game into this Fallout game. They took the mechanics of it. They took the multiplayer aspects of it and turned it into this Fallout. So somebody else made the point just a minute ago. Montreal is working on the mobile game for Starfield. Maryland studio is working on Starfield, the good single-person RPG like we love from Bethesda Game Studios. And then the Austin studio is working on this Fallout. And I believe they revealed this to get it out of the way to come for E3. Now, when we come to E3 and Starfield is nowhere to be heard, y'all can come blame me and say I was just wishful thinking, but I really believe that Starfield is still coming. There are so many clues that show us that Starfield's still a real thing. I just don't know why I'm the only one talking about it right now. Don't forget what Uncle Pete said that one time about Starfield. You don't know what it is or who's making it. Yep. Yeah, he was talking on a live feed. Is that what you're talking about? Where somebody asked him about Starfield, and he said, "Oh, good, you can read trademarks, but you don't know what it is or who's making it." And that's true. It's under ZeniMax's name. We have no concrete evidence of what it is or who it's coming from. However, there is a lot of little things that point to Bethesda Game Studios, and it also points to them with an RPG. Yep. That's exactly what you're talking about. I still think it is Bethesda Game Studios' main game that they're going to announce, and it's either going to be this year or next year. I still think it's this year. The only reason I say it might be next year is because normally they're on a 4-year cycle, and I don't know how much y'all keep up with all the videos I put out with my speculations. But y'all can go back and watch some of those, and I'm kind of patting myself on the back a little bit. I said from the very beginning that the Austin studio is going to put out either a multiplayer game by themselves, which I believe the Fallout 76 is, or they were going to put a Fallout, a multiplayer mode onto Starfield. Well, that one came true. I also said that Starfield was either coming this year or next because Bethesda Game Studios is normally on a 4-year cycle. There's normally 4 years in between their games, and it's only been 3 years since Fallout 4. Hopefully, though, this is an exception. Last year, do I think it was ready last year? I don't know. I sure thought it was, especially with all the stars in the background and the spaceship that was going off. Man, we all thought it was coming last year. I don't know what happened last year. I don't know whether they had Starfield almost done and decided it wasn't close enough and pulled it at the last minute. I don't know if we were all just dreaming and it was still a year away because it had only been 2 years since Fallout 4. They have done a game that quick. If I'm right off the top of my head, I'm thinking, but was it not between Oblivion and Fallout 3? Wasn't it a 2-year cycle? That was the only time that they've done one that close. But yes, I believed it was, y'all pardon me while I take a drink. I believe it was coming last year just like everybody did. And man, I was so heartbroken. But I'm right back on that train again this year saying, yep, it's coming again this year. y'all tell me, there's enough people on here now. Have y'all heard? I know y'all are watching videos today. Have y'all heard anybody else talking about Starfield since the Fallout game was revealed? I've just heard dead silence about Starfield. It's like everybody forgot about it. But again, I think it is still the main game. This Fallout game is just a minor game compared to Starfield. This I just went blank. This Fallout 76 game is just the game coming out of Austin, I believe. It's a minor part of the showcase for Bethesda Game Studios. Y'all forgive me while I read again. I don't have good enough glasses. Yeah, I don't know why nobody else is talking about it. Like I said, I don't think when the name Fallout happened, and this is going to tell you why Bethesda did this. When the name Fallout was mentioned, everybody went crazy because Fallout is such a huge name. Fallout sells. Again, you could put Fallout on anything. And yeah, I had some images come to my mind. You could put the name Fallout on anything and it would sell. Sadly, we would all buy it. I'm sitting here wearing a Fallout shirt. Y'all see my Vault 111 shirt? We all love it. And that's exactly why I believe they took the Battle Cry game from the Austin studio and said, you have something good. I don't think it's going to sell much. So Bethesda Game Studios took that studio in and helped them turn that Battle Cry game into the Fallout 76. Now, that's what I believe has happened. Have y'all heard anybody else say that? I haven't heard anybody else say that either. Yeah, I don't know much about the Rust. I looked into that game, the Rust style game. That sounds very interesting. That's the survival type game, right? The Rust game, where you have to build. It's got the building system in it. That sounds good to me. But again, I don't want the multiplayer aspect. Co-op would be fantastic. Yeah, very good point about the 10th Planet. There, Bethesda Game Studios has worked on 2 different space games in the past. Both of them were canceled. One was actually a Star Trek game. They used to have the license for Star Trek. I wish they still did. That would be amazing. They stopped that game, I believe, to start Skyrim. They also had the 10th Planet. They had a lot of the gameplay done in that. They had a trailer done. Skullsy, another one of the Bethesda guys on YouTube, he found the trailer for the 10th Planet. And if you go back in some of my videos or his, you can see the 10th Planet trailer that they had. I believe it was all the way back in 1995. So Bethesda's been wanting to do a space game for a long time, and rumors are, as much as I hate rumors, they've been working on Starfield. Somebody asked about Starfield. It has been said that Bethesda Game Studios has been working on Starfield in one way or another since 2013. Now, that's 2 years after Skyrim, okay? So during the Fallout 4 process, there was part of the people there at Bethesda Game Studios already working on Starfield. They've been working on it a long, long time. Yeah, Liberty Prime, they do have something more, and it's Starfield. I'm not a betting man, but again, I'm betting Starfield is still coming. Yep, Starfield is absolutely coming. If this Fallout is all they have, and it turns out to be, like I'm saying, a multiplayer game with not much of a single campaign, if you thought the outcry over the Creation Club was bad, they're going to have some upset fans if that's all they have to show, and it's just a multiplayer Fallout game. Okay, the $1 million bottle cap question right now is E3 2018. Bethesda Game Studios Showcase. Are they going to announce something else alongside Fallout 76, or is this it for 2018? Well, I've got it, and will you give me 1 million bottle caps if I answer? Yes, Starfield is coming. And you can say the King Fan Man said it. If it don't happen, y'all can come grab to me. But as far as it is right now, Starfield is going to be announced at this E3. Y'all can bet those 1 million bottle caps on it. I will be disappointed, especially the online speculations are true. It's true, Liberty Prime. It's a multiplayer game. It's the Battlecry game that's been adapted. You can also take that to the bank as well. I heard some people say that you will be stuck in the vault for the whole game. It's interesting. The whole trailer, you're in the vault, and I guess y'all noticed that you don't ever see the outside. I don't think that's true. I hope that's not true. Boy, that would be a small game. I do believe that Fallout 76 is a much smaller game. It's nothing like Fallout 4, guys. Y'all don't get your hopes up, okay? Again, one of the leaks said, and I've already told you not to listen to the leaks, but one of the leaks said if you're expecting an RPG like Skyrim or Fallout, you're going to be very disappointed. And that's true. From everything I'm hearing, from everything I know, this is a smaller game. Battlecry was a smaller game. I think this is Battlecry that they've adapted and put a Fallout name on it. Now they've added to it, and again, I'm hoping with Bethesda Game Studios working with them. If they already had the core system with the Battlecry game and they turned that into the Fallout 76, it could be an amazing game for what it is. Now, I would much rather have a true RPG, but just think about it for a minute. If it does have a single player campaign along with a multiplayer, and then if it has a co op on top of that, it would be worth it for me. I would get it. Now, I wouldn't play the multiplayer very much, but the co-op and the single player, I would love it. Even if it was a smaller game, I would still enjoy that. Now, I would rather have a full RPG, but let's don't just get totally upset here. It could still be a good game, even if it's not exactly what we would be wanting. Well, it must be far in development. Yeah, absolutely. Are you talking about Starfield being much in development? Again, it was all the way back in 2013 where they started, so it's ready. It's ready to go. I think it was ready to be revealed last year. I don't know why they pulled it. How big is Bethesda now? They are taking in many people. Yep. They have 3 studios. Not only have they expanded, they used to just be Maryland. Now you have Maryland, you have Montreal, and you have Austin. Not only that, they've expanded each of those studios. One of those studios now is twice as big as the original studio used to be. So they've not just doubled their sizes, they've tripled and even quadrupled their numbers. And as I was saying before, I believe even though they are all working together and they're kind of, it's interesting. Not just Bethesda Game Studios. I love how the Bethesda family, and I call it family, or the ZeniMax family, id Software worked with BGS on Fallout 4 to get the gunplay better. That's why the gunplay was so much better in Fallout 4 than it was in Fallout 3. So all of the studios in the ZeniMax family, in the Bethesda family, seem to have a working relationship. In other words, if one of them needs help on the engine, if one of them needs help on an animation system, if one of them needs help on the gunplay, then they each help one another, which is one of the ways that Battlecry came into Bethesda Game Studios. I believe Bethesda Game Studios started helping Battlecry, trying to make that game better, and they thought, hey, if we put the Fallout name on it, it'll sell. Yep. Let's see. So Bethesda's getting very big now. Open world. It's you're talking about Fallout 76. It's going to be an open world. It's just not going to be a big, dense open world like we're used to. Yep. Pray that these leaks aren't true. I'm afraid a lot of them are. It's a multiplayer game, guys. It's a multiplayer game. I'm just hoping it has a lot of single player and co-op stuff along with it. Again, to reiterate, it is the Battlecry game from 2015 with a Fallout name on it. Now, Bethesda Game Studios has surely added to it and helped it, but this Fallout 76 is coming from the Austin studio. And the Austin studio is built as a multiplayer studio. The lead developer in Austin is the guy that was the lead developer on the Star Wars multiplayer game. What's it called? Knights of the Old Republic. Every job listing that has come out of Austin has either been for a freemium game, a AAA freemium game, or a multiplayer. It is a multiplayer studio. The only game they've ever worked on was Battlecry, which was a multiplayer online game. So if you think anything's going to come out of that studio other than multiplayer, then you're not paying attention. And this game, this Fallout 76, has come out of Austin, no doubt. Yep, co-op. I'm reading, y'all. Give me a chance to catch up and read. My eyes still aren't good. Another downside: the full online multiplayer is no mods. Can you imagine a BGS RPG without without mods? That is very interesting. A point that I made yesterday on the live feed was they tried to add a multiplayer mode to Fallout 4, but Todd Howard said the only thing that stood in their way was the VAT system. And think about it: if you have multiple people playing and one person hits the VATs on their screen, it slows down or stops. Well, you can't stop the game for one player and let it continue for the others. So they couldn't ever figure out how to do the VATs with multiplayer. Now, a good question is Fallout 76 going to have the VATs? If it is a true multiplayer or co-op, is it going to have VATs? That's a very interesting thought. I'm catching up on the words. Y'all tell me again. I haven't seen anybody that said it here. I'll ask again since we've had some more jump on. Are y'all hearing any of the other YouTubers? Are you hearing any of the guys that are leaking or anything? Or is anybody else other than me talking about Starfield? Anybody? What if Starfield is an MMO? Don't even talk like that. No, I think Starfield is still coming. I think it is still the single player RPG from Bethesda Game Studios. Turn that frown upside down. It's still coming, guys. Y'all can get mad at me if it's not. I have been wrong before, but I believe that Starfield's still coming. This Fallout is just a minor part of Bethesda Showcase. Again, remember what Pete Hines said. This is going to be the biggest showcase ever. Yeah, multiplayer and VATs do not mix. Okay, I'm hoping Starfield is more like Mass Effect, where you travel to planets and explore. That's the thing. We have no clue what the Starfield is going to be like. I can't wait to find out what it's going to be like. I just hope it's a single player, first person RPG like Skyrim and Fallout. I don't want Bethesda to keep chasing all these trends that they're chasing. It was just recently I think it was at PAX where they released that commercial about Save Player One. Y'all remember that? And I thought that was great. Everybody else is chasing all this multiplayer stuff and the loot boxes and all that. And now you've had Bethesda do the Creation Club, which, by the way, y'all don't get mad at Bethesda Game Studios. Y'all know Bethesda Game Studios did not do Creation Club. Y'all look into that. The trademarks, everything about Creation Club is coming from ZeniMax. So it's not coming from Todd Howard in his group. It's coming from the corporate. That was some corporate guy's idea. Ooh, we can be like other studios. Let's do this. Unless they somehow make VATs work in real time, yeah, I don't know if that's possible. I think if it's multiplayer, they would have to either do away with the VATs, or I don't know how they would do it. The only thing I saw that was one of the leakers said Starfield is still years away. Todd, really? Do you remember who said that and why they said that? From all I know, they've been working on Starfield since 2013, and it was almost ready, if not ready, last year. So I still think Starfield's coming this year. Correct me if I'm wrong, but it wasn't the trademark for Starfield under an MMO. And I hope your mother gets better. Oh, thank you very much. Y'all pray for my mom. She needs it. My dad passed away about 3 years ago, and she's had 2 heart attacks, and it's just kind of tough on her. So I'm trying to take care of her. No, there is a online aspect to the Starfield. I think that's what you're referring to. The last expansion on the trademark for Starfield includes some online multiplayer stuff, and everybody started panicking. But again, I believe they would probably add I've thought that all along, that the Starfield is going to have a multiplayer mode to it. Again, Bethesda's chasing that multiplayer to see if they can do it, but it's still going to be a single player game. It will just have that multiplayer tacked onto it. Yep, this BGS will have something for everybody. Yep, I think we're going to get a Fallout and a Starfield. Todd Howard lied to me. Yeah. Tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. To simply be, yeah, I would love the Fallout. I love Fallout. And I even like Fallout 4. I wish they would keep Fallout simple. But as I was saying earlier, if you're one of the ones that just jumped on, Josh, talking about Fallout 76, if you put the Fallout name on anything, it will sell. They have the Operation game that's Fallout. They have a chess set that's Fallout. They have puzzles that's Fallout. I mean, you put the name Fallout on anything and it's going to sell. This smaller game, Fallout 76, again, and I hate to repeat to some of the ones that's been on here from the beginning, I believe it is the Battle Cry game from 2015 that the Austin studio that used to be called Battle Cry Studio was working on, and it has been rebranded as Fallout 76. They said that, hey, you got a good game there in Battle Cry, but it's not going to sell. So they made it Fallout and made a little changes to it. Now, I will say this, the trailer looked amazing. I love the idea of going back in time for a prequel. That is exciting. To have a co-op game is exciting. So there's some aspects to the Fallout 76, even if it's not an RPG. Okay, I can get over it if it's not. Yes, that's what I want. I want another Fallout 4. I want another Skyrim. I want another one of those kind of games. But if it's not, let's just say it's not for a minute. Let's just say it's some kind of something with a multiplayer mode, or it's some kind of survival game like Rust. Somebody was mentioning that before. Let's try to think about it. Would we like anything like that? If it's got a co-op mode to it and you can sit and play with it, play with a friend with it, something like that in the Fallout universe. Now, I would much rather have a real Fallout game, but I think it could be kind of cool being in the Fallout universe because I love that universe so much. Thank you so much for talking about my mom and giving prayers for her. I appreciate that so much. Let's see. Show the posting, and I think Maddie did too. What was the posting, Todd? What was the posting about? Was it the one talking about the Fallout 76 being multiplayer and all that? I've read that one several times. I've had several people send it to me today. I agree that Starfield is probably coming this year as well as last year. The theme of the stars for no reason. Yep. Just like the store of the stars. Again, I'm going to ask y'all, since we have more hopping on here, have you heard any of the other YouTubers talking about Starfield still coming since Fallout has been announced? I haven't heard anybody talking about it, and I wonder why everybody forgot it. I don't mind multiplayer as long as these aren't a bunch of strangers everywhere trying to kill me. Yeah, like ESO. During the trailer, a couple of things, maybe this will help y'all and give you maybe it'll make you feel better about it. One of the things that pointed to multiplayer was when it was panning around the room, there was a board game sitting on the table. And I think Maddie brought this out. The YouTuber Maddie brought this out. If you look very close at that, and the camera really focused on it like we were supposed to look at it and see what was going on. It was a multiplayer game it said up to 5 people. Well, if we're talking about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, anywhere in there, that's not a multiplayer game like we think of with ESO, where there's 100 people on this server, 1,000 people on that server. If you can play with 3, 4, 5 other people, that kind of game might be interesting. What's the pirate game that's going around right now? And I know it's gotten some bad pub. But it's small numbers of people. That might be something like this is. Another thing within that trailer, there is so many things in that trailer that are pointing to co-op, so many things that are in pairs. As I said earlier, the very start of the trailer has the Pit Boy, and it has the two tubes in the Pit Boy that are glowing. There's two of them. And you just go back and watch that trailer after you get off this live feed and start counting the things that are in pairs. Okay. There's two chairs at the table. There's two chairs over in the corner. There's two instruments. You've got the guitar and the harmonica. Uh, I'm going blank right now. The last one was you have two vault boys pointing at each other. Okay. So there's a lot that looks like it may be co-op as well. I'm going to lose some of y'all's comments here. I'm being too slow. I get to talking, and I'm enjoying talking with y'all, and I don't read. Let's see. Let me try to get caught up. You've been listening to Country Roads on repeat. I've always loved that song. John Denver did it originally. I don't know who the guy is that's singing it this time, but it sounds good. I love that song. They picked a good song. You have to admit that was a pretty cool trailer. Bethesda does an awesome job at marketing their stuff. And you're not even American. Where are you from? Like in Country Roads. Let me know where you're from in just a minute when I get down there. Let's see. I do too. I like to have these kind of live streams, and I want to get to know you guys. I'm just getting started in this. The live stream I had yesterday, I told a little bit about myself. I don't know how many of y'all was on there. I'll do that before we're off here tonight. We'll go another probably about 15 minutes. I want y'all to get to know me and me to get to know some of y'all. I love having a channel that has a close knit channel that sticks together, and that's what these live streams are for. And if y'all do like them, I'm gonna keep doing them. Are we sure that Fallout 76 is a smaller game? Because when New Vegas was released, it was Fallout New Vegas, suggesting it was a spinoff. But Fallout 76 doesn't have that. So is it not a spinoff? I don't think it is what we call a spinoff. I think it is a totally different kind of game, and there's several reasons. One reason is it was actually reported from Todd Howard and Pete Hines both that they both said they wanted to take Fallout in a different direction. Now, that they were not talking about a different location. They meant a totally different type game. You can be assured that Fallout 76 is a different type of game. Now, how big it is, I don't know. As I was telling earlier, I believe that Fallout 76, the base Fallout 76 game, was the original Battlecry game from Battlecry Studios that became Bethesda Game Studios in Austin. That is that multiplayer game. I believe that's what started this game, the Fallout 76. Now, I'm going to mention a leak, even though I told y'all not to pay attention to the leaks. One of the leaks today said that the gameplay on Fallout 76 has been radically changing. In other words, Bethesda Game Studios keeps adding things to it, which is good news for us, okay? They took that core mechanic of multiplayer, whether it's up to 5 people, whether it starts co-op, or whether it's a full-on server like ESO. But they took that core game, that core multiplayer game, and then they started adding things to it. Hopefully, they added a really cool single player campaign. Hopefully, they added some really cool things, because these people are saying they're continuing to add things to it. Back to what I was saying, y'all go back and look at that trailer after we're done here and start seeing how many things are in pairs, and that just gets my hopes up. See, from everything I've heard, it's just multiplayer, but I would love co-op. That's what I would really love to play if it's not just a single player game. Let's see. Random unrelated question. Where are you from? You sound like Sturgis. I love the accent. Yeah. We were in California not long ago, and me and my wife and children were talking, and somebody ran up to us and went, "Where are you from?" If you can tell, I've got a country accent. I live in Arkansas, if you can't tell by my accent. But I love my state. Wonderful state. Where are you from? You said you're not in America. But Sturgis, I will take that as a compliment if you call me like Sturgis. I don't have his hair. I don't have much hair left anymore, but I would take that kind of hair. Let's see. He referenced forum postings from leakers previously thought to be fake. Yes, yeah, about a year ago they were posting the name and everything else. I saw that somebody over a year ago actually gave the name of Fallout 76 and gave some of the things. Now, is it not right, Todd, that within that did they not say it was a multiplayer game? It wasn't a normal RPG. I think that's what they were saying along with that. See, that's the kind of leak that you can pay a little bit of attention to, because I mean, if they nailed the name of this a year ago, then that's pretty good. That might tell you they know something. Nothing about Starfield at the moment, but I think I heard a YouTuber say something about Starfield being years away. Yeah, somebody else said that on this live feed. That's not what I'm hearing at all. Again, I'm hearing it's either this year or next year. I still believe it's going to be this year at the showcase. And y'all can come back and tell me, you were wrong, you were wrong. It's either this year or next year. They work on a 3 or 4 year cycle. This Fallout 76 is not from the main Maryland studio. Now, they helped with it, but this is coming from Austin. Y'all can just bet on that. This Fallout 76 game has come from the Austin studio. The Montreal studio is working on a mobile game, and Maryland is working on Starfield. Let's see. What's up, fan man? Hey, good to see you, Darth. You mind if I call you Darth? Let's see. Oh, Liberty. I think most people, I'm way behind. Y'all got to help me catch up here. Yeah, since Liberty said that most people think that the whole team was behind Fallout, so they don't think they're going to release anything else. I think that's what they're betting on, and I think they're doing that on purpose. And I think they're going to hold everything else until E3 and try to surprise everybody else. And I'm very interested to see in the next couple of days if all these YouTubers that were talking about Starfield will get back on the Starfield bandwagon and say something again. I released a video today talking about Starfield, telling y'all it's still coming. Y'all don't forget about it. Watching from the UK, man, isn't it awesome to be here talking about our favorite games, and we're sitting here literally all over the world. Y'all just let that sink in for a minute. Isn't that amazing how technology works? I'm in Arkansas. We got somebody from the UK. Somebody else said they were from Brazil. That's amazing. Dar said, I agree. Definitely something else coming from Bethesda. They have 3 studios now. I hope it's Starfield. It is. I promise. It is. It's coming. It's either this year or next. Just hold on. Just if they don't do it, you yell at them and say, King Fan Man said release it, and they will. What about the color TV? What's going on there? I don't know. That's very cool. For the first time ever, there's a color TV. There's a lot that we don't know about this game. Quite honestly, that is one of the things I didn't research today. I've been breaking down that trailer all day long. I've got a lot of information I'm going to give you all in the next few days. I do know that the color television was first. Now I'm talking about in our timeline, not in the Fallout world. Was first invented, I believe, in and used in New York. I think I heard somebody else. I think it was maybe Juicehead talking about that today, and that was one of the reasons he thought that this Fallout might be centered in New York. I'm not sure, other than another very interesting article I read, and Darth may have been the one that one of y'all gave it to me. Todd, Darth, somebody today. That Fallout 76 is loosely based off a real life vault. Have y'all heard this story? That it was actually a vault made for the congressman right outside of Washington, obviously being West Virginia, and it was used for the high ups in Congress, and that Vault 76 was again a fictitious one, but it is based on that real vault. So that's pretty interesting. So maybe it's because the politicians were there that they were wealthier than anybody else. They got color TV. We all had black and white. Well, they had color. Just like a politician. Okay, yes, single player with co-op. That would be awesome. Amen. He said, yep. All right, we're getting close to the end. Man, I'm way behind on y'all's questions. See, I need Wolfman here reading some of these. From Arizona, Snake Eyes, good to have you. Darth from North Carolina. Y'all give me a shout out where you're from before we get off here. That's awesome. There's a Tennessee. Todd, yeah, I knew you were from Tennessee. Snake Eyes from Arizona. Darth from North Carolina. Somebody else said from the UK. Somebody else said from Brazil. Y'all forgive me that if I can't remember names. I'm from Arkansas. Man, this is amazing. They've done a lot of announcing before E3. Really seems like they're saving time for their showcase. Starfield. Yep, at least it's still possible. Yep, you believe just like I believe. That's exactly what they're doing. They're holding their biggest for last, and it's Starfield. That's going to be the main attraction of the showcase. Just think about what they've already revealed. Almost every studio has revealed something. I think Tango is the only one that hadn't, other than Machine Games, but they just released some Wolfenstein DLCs. Tango hasn't said anything, but every other studio inside the ZeniMax family has either announced something, just released something, or at least given a tease. Arcane is going to show us a Prey DLC. They've teased it. We haven't seen it yet. Then id is with Rage 2, and I'm not going to go through them all right now. But just with what we know is going to be at E3, it's going to be a long showcase. So they needed to get this out of the way. And how do I say this? With what happened last year with the Creation Club, I think they learned a lesson not to put anything in the showcase for the first time that might make fans a little upset. So a Fallout that is a multiplayer, a Fallout that is not a traditional Fallout might upset the fans a little bit. So they wanted to reveal it first to get it to, so we can start thinking, well, it might work. I don't think they're going to do anything. I think they learned their lesson on the Creation Club. It's kind of like the horse armor years ago. They finally learned their lesson on that one. Let's see. What about some of the Bethesda tweet leaks, like the crossing of the rocket? Thought the rocket was Starfield, but it had an announced date of Rage 2 on it. Wasn't sure. Bethesda is awful good at teasing stuff within other things. Did y'all see? I'm sorry. Did y'all see on the live stream, the live Twitch stream, waiting on the please stand by? Did you notice somebody came, and I hadn't heard anybody talking about this today? Somebody came by the screen and they had the mask on. I don't know what it's called because I don't really watch the show, but they had the mask on from Game of Thrones. Did anybody see that today? Now, Game of Thrones has been leaked and rumored that Bethesda is making one. Actually, Game of Thrones asked Bethesda to make one right before they made Skyrim, and Bethesda turned them down. So, what was that Bethesda employee doing with a Game of Thrones mask? Were they trolling us? Were they just trying to tease us because of that, or were they literally giving us a tease of something? I mean, that I haven't said anything about it. I'm not going to put it in a video until I know more. That's not enough to really go on. But I wanted to mention it to y'all tonight. Did any of y'all see that? I mean, that really had me. That really floored me. Take Me Home came out in 1971. John Denver. Yeah. Do you know who's singing it in this one? Because that's not John Denver singing it. Let's see. I'm trying to get to the end here so we can. If I miss y'all's question, y'all please forgive me. I'm trying to fly through here so I don't just read while we're sitting here. What if Bethesda is feeding people leaks to throw us off the trail? Yep, that happens a lot. Talking about Starfield and Fallout 76 leaks. That is absolutely could be true. I still think Starfield's coming. Y'all just hold on. It's coming. Hold tight. It's coming. Night before the stream. Yeah, the night before the stream started. Absolutely. Yeah, I heard about that. Well, what do y'all think about the Game of Thrones thing? Are they trolling us? The dagger too? Absolutely. I think it may have been a troll. Yeah, probably. Well, I don't know that much about the show. I think it would be a awesome one. Okay, we're coming to the end of this stream. I wanted to do it about an hour. I enjoy this though. I could keep doing. If y'all like this kind of thing, I'm gonna maybe do it once a week, or especially if there's something going on. Troll, yep. Last night I told a little bit about myself. I want to do it again. We've got a few people on here. If you haven't said where you're from and would like to, I'd love to find out where everybody's from. Let me just tell you a little bit about myself, because I want to not only just be the guy that gives you some Bethesda news. I want us to get to know each other. I want y'all to be able to trust me, and we can talk about stuff. I am from Arkansas. I'm a little bit older than some gamers. I'm in my 40s. That's all I'll say. I was a police officer, and I am still currently a pastor. I pastor a small little Baptist church, but I was diagnosed 10 years ago with a very serious case of lupus and fibromyalgia. And my doctor actually recommended video games. But now I've played video games all my life. I've always loved video games. But I got back into video games to help me with the pain, and it actually works. So if any of y'all suffer from backache, leg aches, any kind of things like that, as y'all probably already know now, video games actually work to get your mind off of it. And there are some doctors that recommend them. But I got back into Bethesda game most of all, and boy, they helped me through some trying times. So for 10 years, I have had my head in Bethesda games, not just playing them, but researching them and uh, working in and around the area, but mostly from home since I'm sick most of the time. So that's why I started this channel, because it is a passion of mine. I know a lot about it now, so I hope I can just share that with y'all. And I appreciate y'all being a part of this channel. You know, I say on the end of my videos that I appreciate from my heart you being a part of this channel. Y'all don't know how much it means to me, because this is something I can still do from home. It's something I know a little bit about, and it's something I have a passion about. So I want I want a few followers out there that know me, that like me, and we can talk Bethesda games together. So that's why I like these sit down chats. I also encourage you. We have a podcast every Saturday, and we're going to start doing it this way, where uh, recently we've just been doing it audio wise, but we're going to start doing it with the camera now that I got a new camera. And so join us on Saturdays for our podcast. It's called the King's Cast. We'd love to have you there. Any other questions that y'all would like to ask before we are, I was about to say dismissed. Y'all are going to find out every once in a while my preacher comes out in me, okay? I won't pass the offering plate or anything while we're doing this. Let's see. My mother was diagnosed with cancer last year. Oh, I'm so sorry. And she started playing games to take her mind off of it. She's around your age. Oh, she's a young lady then. That's awesome. What kind of games does she like? Does she like Bethesda games? You need to give her Skyrim. There's the lady. She's in her 80s that plays Skyrim. I can't remember her name right now. I follow her on YouTube and on Twitter though. Thank you, Death Trap. I'm so glad. I may not be everybody's taste, but like I said, I want to build a group of people that like me and can trust me, and we can talk about Bethesda games together. Uh, the one that talked about your mother, I will be praying for your mother. I'm so sorry to hear that. I hope there's something they can do for her and she gets better. Enjoyed the stream. I enjoyed. Thank you so much for coming by the stream. Anybody else have any questions or want to tell me where you're from before we go? Let me uh, let me sum up what we've talked about. I know we've had people jumping in and out. Again, I believe Starfield's coming, even though most people are not talking about it. Starfield is coming. Y'all just hold on. I believe this Fallout 76 is a much smaller game. It's not a normal RPG. Please don't expect a normal RPG. I hope it has a single player mode to it. It probably will have something, but it is mostly a multiplayer game. I also hope it has a co op, and there are some teases of that in the trailer. Just Dom was the first one to point it out, so I'm going to give him full credit for that. But I believe it is the Battlecry game from 2015 that Battlecry Studios, who became a part of Bethesda Game Studios, it's that game that was changed into a Fallout game. Athens, Greece. Wow, we've got Brazil, we've got Greece, we've got Britain, and then people all over the southern United States. That is awesome. Let's see, 80 year 80-year-old Oh, wow, that's cool. I hope I'm still around when I'm 80 and able to play Bethesda games. Can you imagine what they're going to look like when we get that age? Very quick before we go, uh, hopefully I'm not the oldest one on here. Am I the oldest one on here? I'm actually 46. Is there anybody even close to me on this feed? Somebody tell me how old you are. Is anybody close? You're from AACHEN. I don't Germany. Oh, that's awesome. My dad was actually stationed in Germany for a while. He was in the military and he was in Frankfurt, I guess, Germany. I also love Elvis Presley. If y'all get to know me very long, you'll know that. And then he was stationed in Germany as well. Hope BGS has something up their sleeve. They do. I think Fallout Battlecry by itself qualifies the biggest E3 ever. 20 years old. This is going to be a huge E3 for Bethesda, especially if they have Starfield ready, which I think they do. Guys, they have been updating that trademark over and over and over. In fact, just this past week, not this week, but last week, they upped it again and expanded it again. Okay, Starfield is coming, and I believe they are ready to present it. No, Preston, I'm not going to run help another settlement. Guys, thank y'all for stopping by the King's Corner today. Thank y'all for letting me be a part of your life. Thank y'all for trusting me with some of your Bethesda news, and it's so good to talk to y'all and get to know you. And I want to do this some more so I can get to know each of you guys. Pete Hines said E3 will be the biggest one ever. Absolutely. It's going to be awesome. 2 weeks away. We are 2 weeks away. Hey, there's the Cartridge Corner coming back on. Where you been? I bet you've been playing your games and not even listening to the live feed. I know Cartridge Corner, so he's going to be in trouble in a little bit. Is that what you've been doing? So good again to be with y'all tonight. Any other questions before we go? Anything at all? Man, I can't wait. 2 weeks. We are 2 weeks away. The one thing I don't know, I don't know if we're going to hear anything about Starfield before E3, and that's going to make me nervous as a cat. Y'all know what I mean? I still believe it's coming, but they may hold on to it as a shock and surprise. So I'm going to be nervous as a cat when I go into the E3 showcase, just like last year, thinking it's coming, but not knowing for sure. Hey, guys, I've had a lot of fun. We're going to do this again very soon. Y'all be sure and check back with the channel. Hopefully tomorrow I'll have a brand new video for you again with maybe a Starfield update. So stay tuned. Also, join back at the podcast for the podcast this coming Saturday. Maybe we'll do it live with the camera. And I can add, if you've never listened to a podcast, we are giving away 2 King Fan Man t-shirts. I know that's not big, but I don't have any money. I don't get paid by YouTube, so that's all I have to give away right now. But if you would like a King Fan Man t-shirt, then on the podcast, just come and make a comment just like y'all are doing here today. Make a comment and subscribe, and you're qualified to win a King Fan Man t-shirt. And I'm going to give 2 of those away on June the 10th, which is Bethesda's E3 date. So y'all remember that and join us, and let's have an awesome podcast this coming Saturday. And I want to do it this way. So good to be with y'all. So good to be with y'all. Thank you for being a part of the King's Corner. I hope to see you tomorrow. I am the King Fan Man, and I, again, hope to see you tomorrow if I can find the end button. Y'all have a good evening.